Morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, it is he, it is me, Slim with the tilted brim, Etep Wakuin of the Place to Be reviews. This is the debut of About Last Night, the morning show, kind of a companion series to the Place to Be reviews podcast, where I'll kind of cover the book. This is expected to happen as I'm not really awake yet, and I'm not really used to recording this early in the morning. But we are here on YouTube. I hope you are joining us, and the morning finds you well as I take a sip of my coffee here, and we get ready to dive in to the show from last night just a little bit. But I've got some stories that I want to cover. We're only going to do this for about an hour, because I don't want it to go on too long. And we're just kind of testing the waters with this to see if this is going to be something that I'm going to do once, if I'm going to do once a week, or we'll kind of go from there. But with that being said, now last night we talked about a myriad of topics. Of course, Monica Laudy and myself, we have a tendency to get sidetracked from time to time. So we talked about, of course, Lady Thor, Spider-Man, Kevin Feige. It's not, and I don't want to talk about Kevin Feige and Spider-Man this morning, because I believe that's been covered ad nauseum every turn that we can make and we can think of, because without having any more inside information about what's going on, I don't really have anything new. It's not going to be anything that you haven't heard before. And hey, look, I've got somebody in the chat this morning, Chris Wicks. Good morning. Oh, wait. Let me give you a good morning proper, Chris. All right, morning, Chris. Me, Taco Tuesday. Yeah, come on in. I know it's a different time where you are, bud. Yeah, sit down. Maybe we'll have a beer. I'd go for one right now. Yeah, maybe hit a little Fortnite there. Yeah. Oh, and remember, I'll move on from Spider-Man. Oh yeah, I'm not talking Spider-Man anymore. That's done. The Spider-Man is that's over with. So we're going to move on from that. And what I'm going to do is we're going to jump into some Star Wars. Now, I am going to go out on a limb in a little bit, and if you haven't seen the trailer, which most of you probably have, even if you're not interested, you probably ran into this trailer somewhere. And I'm speaking, of course, of the Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker trailer, which did literally nothing for me. I watched it with, I was trying to be optimistic about it, but I mean, I know what's coming. You know, I understand that it's not going to be anything that that is going to pull in the fans that they have worked so hard to throw away. And I don't understand that marketing concept. I've never encountered a business that runs the model of, let's piss off half the customer base. Okay. Let's alienate them. Now they're the paying customers. They're the ones. We're talking about a 4-decade-old, 4-decade-old IP. Okay, this IP predates me by a couple of years. That's how old it is. It's not quite Brian Lape old, but it's old. And I don't understand why they would want to do that. I mean, we're the people that pay the money to for the merchandise, for the toys. It's utterly ridiculous. I can't even fathom why you would do that. Now, this comes from the top down. Obviously, this is, on Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger for letting it happen. Sip of water for the working man. No, I just it blows my mind. And then they put together this trailer, and it is absolutely a dumpster fire after the first couple minutes, or a couple, what is like a minute maybe of the nostalgia, and they come right out of the gate with that, and it's absolutely, I mean, that part was good. I didn't mind. And hey, Tap and Dies in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Tap? What happened last night? We had a great podcast last night. That's what happened, and that is available for streaming on Anchor, iTunes, and Spotify right now. Um, yeah, that's called First Time, and it's like I said, it's there's links on the Place to Be Reviews Facebook page for that. But no, so it trickles down. This is a trickle down effect. Bob Iger to Kathleen Kennedy, and Kathleen Kennedy emboldens all of these weirdos that are that work for Lucasfilm to attack the fans. And the Appalachian American in the chat. What's up? What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Thank you for joining me this morning. This trickle down effect, and this now trickle down effects. That's any business model. You're going to get some modicum of that, but this case, it's horrible, and that's why Disney lost money on Star Wars. They lost a ton of money. Now they're being investigated by the SEC for inflating their earnings statements, and this all plays back into the controversy over Cat Pan Meh and the inflated box office numbers and the empty theaters. And I'm not leaving Star Wars, but I'm just talking about Disney in general here. This is, and I'm just going to stop right here. I am not, I don't script this right now. This is not scripted. This is straight off the cuff, as I kind of wanted to go into this like I do. Now, the podcast, a lot of you guys have been on the podcast. Tap, the Appalachian American, have been on the show. I give it I have a good outline, but right now we're just kind of shooting from the hip and talking some Star Wars. And I'm speaking strictly from a fan's perspective. And somebody, like I said, I'm from the generation I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater. And I was absolutely just taken as a 3-year-old kid. And some of you are probably thinking, oh, you don't remember at 3. Well, you'd be surprised what you can remember when it impacts you as much as it did me. Appalachian American working and lurking. Absolutely. No, it was really impactful to me as a child. I loved the imagery and the spectacle of it, and the lightsabers and the stormtroopers and everything, man. You got the Death Star battle, Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader, especially as a child. Now, Darth Vader never really scared me. Darth Vader never scared me. He just kind of like took me. I just was awestruck of the entire thing, and he was just this large, foreboding figure who kind of he commanded the screen in that voice. James Earl Jones in that voice, that. Yeah, and I was talking yesterday to my wife about this. I said, "Did you know?" We were talking about Star Wars. I said, "You didn't know James Earl Jones used to do the commercial bridge for CNN?" Did you? What? I says, "Yeah, back in the day, he used to. This is CNN." In that James Earl Jones like voice, because we were watching The Lion King was on, and the kid was watching. So, but no, that just it's just those things, and that's so impactful that people, you can't help but remember those things and have it have a big effect and a lasting effect on you. And Star Wars is that kind of franchise for me. And this is the difference between the kids that are growing up with the MCU and us that grew up with Star Wars. Is these kids that are growing up with the MCU, you have it all now, at the snap of a finger. You can access all of this. We had to wait, man. We had, one movie every couple years, and between between Return of the Jedi and Phantom Menace, you're talking 1983 to 1999, a 16-year gap in films. I mean, you had the expanded universe, the books and the comics. And the cartoon shows. I never read many of the books. I've read a couple of them. So it kind of, I don't know. And I didn't ever really stop being a fan of Star Wars. It never stopped. It was pause, but I still enjoyed them. I still watched the movies, and I still had all my toys. Now, obviously, as a 15 to 19-year-old, whatever, you're not, or 19-year-old, you're not really. But I was, see, the thing is, I worked retail at the time that the Phantom Menace came out. I worked for Meyer, and those of you from the Midwest will know what Meyer is. It's a large retail store, kind of I don't know. They cover, they have everything basically, kind of like a Walmart, except classier, depending on where you're from in Michigan or the Midwest. I mean, there's some Myers that are yeesh, and there's some that are really nice. So I worked retail there, and right next to the toy department. Oh, okay, you got Meyer in Australia. All right, I see. I did not know that. I really didn't realize that they were that far out of the Midwest. I didn't really know because I haven't worked there since '99, and I mean, I shopped there, but I didn't really pay attention to the vast stretch of their retail, their conquest, Meyer and their manifest destiny. No, but I worked there, and if I would have thought about it, I would have bought all the toys when they came out, because at 19 I was still living at home, and had that extra money I could have spent on the toys, but I still had all this stuff from when I was a kid. Now this brings me to now. I started got back into collecting again just a couple years ago. I had my original collections of my action figures and whatnot, and I was like, I want to get back into collecting Star Wars again. I the vintage stuff. So I got in all these Facebook groups, and no Meyer in Appalachia. Ugh. Ah, man. So what would be your equivalent there outside of Walmart? Because I mean, that's, you could go to like the deepest, darkest jungles of the Amazon rainforest, and I think there's a goddamn Walmart. But uh, so no, I don't think that retrospect, I wish I would have collected the toys, but no. So to kind of round this all back in, I've got an article here that I'm gonna read. We'll share this and kind of discuss it, and I'll go out on a limb here, and we'll do a screen share of this. Now, if this crashes out on me, I'm going to apologize, because I am working off a rough little router. She's a little engine that could. So let's see here. Ryan Johnson, you're no George Lucas. This comes to us from Bleeding Fool. This is by Itchy Baka. This is from yesterday. As we see the great. Let me know in the chat if you can see the screen, if the screen share is working here. Yeah. So Ryan Johnson opens his mouth yet again, and I love this picture of Daisy Ridley and Harrison Ford with the Mickey Mouse ears. Sip of water for the working man. That is great. All right. Any professional world builder understands that even a fantasy world has to operate by its own internal rules. Once those rules start to be broken, suspension of disbelief breaks down. It's why we don't see resistance fighters wearing Mouseketeer ears yet. Ryan has yet to learn this basic storytelling lesson, and more correct Itchy Baka could not be. It's working, Annie. Thank you, Chris Wicks. And this is just, this is not a man right here. This is an ineffectual, weak little boy who I just think is horrible, just a horrible person, and can't write to save his life. I'm the yeah. I think the instant you start thinking in turn, wait, is it okay? This is a Ryan Johnson quote. So I think the instant you start thinking in terms of how do you not step outside of the bounds of what the original movies did, you're not thinking the way the people who made the original movies did. Johnson shared on the Creative Process with Joseph Gordon-Levitt podcast. They were, with every movie, they were pushing it forward. With every movie, they were stepping outside those bounds and pushing the characters into new, emotionally honest, but surprising places. That's why those movies are great. That's why they're alive. If they had been looking at something that came before and saying, oh, we better not do this because that's outside of this or that, it would have been different. And yet that's exactly what George Lucas did. Now, this is from an interview with George Lucas. Ryan Johnson is an idiot. I seriously wonder how he got hired to write anything, let alone direct a big budget Hollywood production like this. Ugh, all right, George Lucas. We were using a kind of technology which had been completely worked out. How did these bubbles exist under there? Where do they come from? What do they use for energy? The whole culture has to be designed. What do they believe in? How do they operate? What are the economics of the culture? Most of it doesn't appear in the movie, but you have to have thought it through. Otherwise, there's something always rings very untrue or phony about what it is that's going on. And one of these things I struggle with for to create is a kind of immaculate realism in a totally unreal fantasy world. It's a science that I can make up, but once I make up a rule, then I have to live with it. And this is to me, this is just like the brilliance of George Lucas. Bill Moyer says, such as the world according to George Lucas. Well, I mean, one of the rules is there's no sound in space. So there's sound in space. I can't suddenly have spaceships flying around without any sound anymore because I've already done it. I've established that is one of the rules of the my galaxy, and I have to live with that. And George Lucas goes on to say the technology of laser swords, what they can cut through, what they can't cut through. And Ichibaka goes on to say Lucas had such attention to detail that he even had rules about underwear in space. Lucas directed fame towards the likes of Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, and Harrison Ford, among others, when he blasted the franchise onto the big screen on May 25th, 1977. On set when filming Star Wars A New Hope, he reportedly told Fisher that there was, quote, no underwear in space. The director may well have told the Princess Leia actress to turn up on set without underwear, but she was no saint either. So they put a dress on me the first day and bring me to George, Fisher said on HBO's Wishful Drinking. He takes a look at me and says, you can't wear a bra underneath that dress. So I said, why? And he said, because there's no underwear in space. And the man said it with such conviction, too. And that is just George Lucas, man. This is, and Carrie Fisher, yeah, she's kind of a wild child, I guess. So once again, we find that Ryan Johnson simply has no idea what he's talking about. And and it's just it's funny. I wanted to read through this because it's so just you get that little Ryan Johnson quote there, and it just good. He has no clue. The man is clueless when it comes to Star Wars. I can't. And then we went from Jar Jar Abrams, who we all know that he really screwed the pooch with Star Trek. And I'm not even a Trekkie, right? I'm basically going by what the informed uh, Star Trek fan, commenters are saying, and that's people I trust, YouTubers I trust, like Doomcock and Gary from Nerdrotic, just for example, that are in the know when it comes to the Star Trek front. I don't. I quit watching Star Trek a long time ago. Anything new, anyway. The Appalachian American sounds like George Superb. Yeah, it really. Well, probably. I mean, he does work in Hollywood, and that's a whole other discussion. The amount of weirdos in Hollywood. Hey, we got 4 people right now watching. If you're in the chat, do me a favor, bitch slap that like button, get that baby powder out. Hang on, I'll just show you right here. Let's see. Right here. Hi. Let's see. We'll turn the camera down here just a little bit. Yep. Just take that right here. Get that hand out. Get that baby powder. Just bitch slap that like button. That's what you do for me. No, Hollywood is a weird place, and this is the kind of people that it breeds, and these people, this weirdness, has kind of poured into Star Wars, and Chris Wicks, you just lost 4 viewers. Well, it happens. But like I said, Chris, this is the pilot episode, my man. So if it works, it works. I'm glad. Hey, if you guys are here and you're enjoying it, let's see. Don't show your face again. Oh, he was working me. It was kayfabe. God damn it. But no, these weirdos have poured into Star Wars, and they have not done it any favors at all. Because you look at the people that are running this, like Kathleen Kennedy, who preaches this force is female, when the force is supposed to be this I don't want to say the force is like gender fluid, but the force is like asexual. The force is It surrounds everything and consumes everything in the universe of Star Wars, our galaxy far, far away. I don't understand why they would want to try to pigeonhole that as a feminist thing. But I don't know. So this brings us to today, and it's you have people, like Chuck Wendig that wrote, was it After Empire? The book's selling for a quarter now on the shelves. You write things. You're describing how a Tie fighter is flying by saying it's wibbly wobbly and using Hercule jerkily. I mean, come on, come on. Who who does that? And then Pablo Hidalgo, and oh, the list just goes on and on. And these people are just they're weirdos, and they've just been emboldened by this power structure that from the top down lets them get away with it. And it's it's to the point. I want to. I'm going to make a video. It's going to be a separate video about the kind of fans that will attack you if you levy any criticism of Star Wars, and it is ridiculous, and they'll go right into personal attacks. Like, go to the fan page for Dork Side of the Force. All right, I got a top fan badge on there by basically criticizing Disney Star Wars, which is kind of funny. So I've been, every time I make a comment, I get attacked. And the one guy said to me, "You don't deserve that top fan badge." I just laughed. I okay, I did. I laughed. Let's see here. Let's go to the chat. Chris Wicks. Kathleen Kennedy put her own agenda ahead of the greater good. Yes, she did. She absolutely did. And she still does. And that's why she does not belong in Lucasfilm. She doesn't. She doesn't belong in her position at all. And damn Bob Iger for not having a set. I know he's got shareholders and a board to answer to, but I guess she's a whammon, so you can't fire a whammon like that. And so what do? They signed her to a contract extension. I mean, really? So if I fucked up at a job, they're not going to give me a contract extension. They're going to shit can me. So I don't understand how that works and how you can just shit on your customer base and just say everything's okay. Let's see. The Appalachian American. Hercule Jerkily sounds like Tat playing with his barrel. Oh, yeah, that's pretty that's probably pretty accurate. Let's see here. Um no, I want to, what I want to do is I think let me know in the chat if you guys want to sit through a live watch of the trailer right now. I'll screen share the trailer. I don't care. We'll see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? I don't really mind. So yeah, let me know in the chat. There's a couple of you in the chat right now, so just let me know in the chat if you want to watch the trailer, and then we can kind of talk about that a little bit more. But I like the beginning of the trailer. Do it. Let's do it. All right. Well, let me pull this trailer up here, and I don't know if I think the audio should come through, so we can do that. But yeah, I don't want them to make any more Star Wars movies. I really don't. I don't understand. Obviously they're going to, but I just, at this point, I don't understand why. It doesn't make any sense why you even would. You your your entire your entire you're losing money. You're bleeding money. Okay, they lose $6-8 billion on Star Wars. Then they spend all this money on Galaxy's Edge. Like I said, I think they're cooking the books after everything I've heard about this, and what this investigation is going to turn up. I guarantee this whistleblower is going to have some issues, but we're going to find that they shifted money from Disney to buy those tickets to see Cat Pan Met. So, all right, let me get the screen share up here, and we will watch this trailer. Get this going here. Screen sharing, and you see into the abyss, and the abyss stares back at you. All right. I'm going to have the audio on low here. But so you guys are ready, and we'll start this trailer. Not gonna lie, this imagery and the music. It hits you right in the feels every time, because this is when it was good. This is completely what we want. And then it's about this. I love the prequel. That prequel scene with the Venator class star destroyers, and then it gets ruined right here by showing Kylo Ren. It just ruins it. Yeah, this score is great. The Appalachian American. There's the wannabe Hoth. Yes, Geonosis would have been an excellent addition to this, Chris. This right here is just laughable. But the one thing I'll say about this is the visuals are great, like the cinematography and the CGI, but it doesn't make me feel anything except for right here. Like right here, this makes me feel something. That's fucking anger. That is that made me angry and it made me laugh at the same time. Yeah, I have nothing nothing about that made me want to watch that movie at all. So let's go back here. I think the music is deeper and more intense. Yes, the Appalachian American. That score is great. That score is absolutely great in there. John Williams is a master at that, and that is the only good thing. Um, the only good thing about the newer movies is the score. Now the movies themselves, I no, but the score to the movies is excellent. He does a wonderful job, and I understand why he's retiring. It's age and all that, and health, but the man is a legend, and he's done some amazing scores over the years. They should have shown the battle on Geonosis. Yes, that was like the start of the Clone Wars. That was the first battle. So yeah, they should have definitely shown that. Not even seeing the Jedi Council. No, and that's another thing is they totally just no, I'm not complaining about the images that they showed from the original and the prequel trilogy, but yeah, those would have been some excellent additions, especially a scene of the Jedi Council. That would have been absolutely wonderful. Um, and going back to the music for a second, they really kind of slowed that. They kind of slowed that down and worked that piano really well. But then, like I said, that first time you see Kylo Ren's mask in the trailer, all those good feelings are just gone. They evaporate like that. I mean, it's like a drop of water in the Sahara. It's gone. Darth Mary Sue and her U-shaped dildo. Oh God. Oh no. Oh, that's yeah. No, that's if you guys watched my trailer reaction video yesterday, I stopped and I sang my Ray Mall song, and and I'll say this, I don't have any ill will or um dislike for Daisy Ridley at all. She seems like a wonderful person. Like I said, she's not an SJW, which is rare for a Hollywood actress. You know, she shot down the those just weirdo shippers, the Raylos scumbags. So I got nothing but love for Daisy Ridley. I don't like the character of Ray. I don't like anything about her. Um, and it's funny that the movie that she's doing with Tom Holland has been deemed unreleasable. But you know, there's that they're working through. Um, but she's done with Star Wars after this, so I mean, good for Daisy. She made her money. She did her thing. and she's getting out. So cool. Do your definitely, do your thing, girl. Get out and just don't don't look back. Hashtag. Oh my lord. There we go. We had to get one in there. So let's see what else we have here. Do we want to? I know we don't want to, but we're going to. I have a article here about She-Hulk from comic. But they'll. I'm back. This is the pratfalls of my internet connection right now. Is that little dead air right there? I'm here. I'm gonna tell in the chat right now. I'm here, guys. It went dead air for a minute. Sorry about that. We had a brief hiccup there. So I'm not going to do a screen share of this next article, because I won't be able to see if that happens again. So I will. I'll read through this here. Let's see. Now, let me know. Are you guys now the Disney Plus thing? Appalachian American Chris Wicks. Are you guys going to be getting the Disney Plus? Um, I don't know if you are or not. I'm going to be watching it for free, which is the only reason I'm going to be trying to consume all of this Marvel content that they're throwing out here. But that being said, it is absolutely a ton of content. The shows, I mean, we're talking, what, a dozen shows just of um, Marvel. So this is a lot. Plus the Mandalorian, and this is where I'm bringing this back to Star Wars before we go over to the MCU. Is the Mandalorian looks pretty good, pretty good. Chris Wicks, if I had a choice, I would never buy it. If it's part of Hulu, yes. If not, no. Okay. Oh, it's part of our cable package when it's released here, says Chris Wicks. Well, I mean, at least you get it. I mean, that's the thing. If you're already paying for it, you might as well take advantage of the content. That's the way I look at it. It kind of sucks if you are paying for it and you don't want to, though. That's the thing. If you don't want to give somebody your money and you kind of offhandedly have to, then it's kind of yeah. Nobody likes to be forced to pay for anything they don't want. But that's the bad thing. Like the streaming bubble, this is gonna burst. It's not sustainable. Everybody's got a streaming service, and this is why I say this, because The Office, being one of my favorite shows that I just put on as background noise. I love The Office. I've seen the entire run of the show 10 times now, and I can. It's my show. I love it, and they're going to take that off Netflix, and that's going on NBC Universal streaming service. I think 2022 or 2021 when they launch. So, there goes that. And that's another streaming service. If I want to watch my NBC shows that I like that are, on Netflix now, I can't. So I don't know. It's not going to happen. And this, everybody thinks I'm crazy because I pay, like $180 for cable internet and phone. And I'm like, well, if I had to get 8 or 9 streaming services and then pay a separate internet bill, I'm going to be paying well into the $200 to $250 range a month. So, I mean, think about it. To get sports, cable, or just TV channels, sports, movies, your network shows you want, things like that. That you've got to have a ton of streaming services. So, and then DC has theirs, Disney has theirs for the Marvel and Star Wars. It's every of the all these IPs. They're everywhere. They're spread out. So you're forced to pay for all this stuff that you necessarily don't want. So yeah, I don't think it's sustainable. It really isn't. It's not a, like I said, just not a good business model. But everybody thinks that's the way of the future. So, we'll see how it goes. But let's see here. Comicbook.com. Okay, so we're going to shift gears now, go over the She-Hulk article before we kind of wrap this up here in about, I don't know, another 10, 15 minutes or so. If you guys are, I don't know, give me a, I don't know, give me a high sign that you guys are kind of still enjoying this. And, or if you want me to shut the fuck up and I'll just end it. No. So comicbook.com by Adam Barnhart. Mark Ruffalo welcomes She-Hulk to the MCU. Before no time at all, the Marvel Cinematic Universe will get a whole lot greener. As announced at the D23 Expo this past weekend, Jennifer Walters would be introduced to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in She-Hulk, a limited series on Disney+. Now, Avengers Endgame star Mark Ruffalo has taken to Twitter to welcome his character's cousin to live action. And this tweet's funny because there's really, I don't know if they've cast anybody to be She-Hulk yet. So Ruffalo, as you likely know by now, plays Bruce Banner in the MCU. For the uninitiated, Banner and Walters are cousins in the Marvel cosmic mythos. A lawyer by day, Walters was given her powers after receiving an emergency blood transfusion for Banner immediately following an accident. As with most other upcoming Marvel Studios projects, especially those on Disney Plus, this little is known about the series, and we're still far away from any form of casting news. Between now and the first batch of Disney Plus series announced, Marvel Studios' slate is pretty full through 2021. Though She-Hulk was announced as Phase 4, it's likely Kevin Feige and his team at Marvel has decided to extend Phase 4 beyond 2021, contrary to what was initially announced. See, I don't, yeah, I don't know. Um, they've got a lot, and this is the thing about Phase 4 is, and we'll talk about this after the article because I don't want to jet back. The Appalachian American be back in 15 minutes. All right, we'll still, I'll hang out. We'll still be here, man. No cast or even rumored, says Chris Wicks. No, there hasn't been, Chris, and I don't know why they wouldn't at least, start kind of hinting at somebody to play her. They've probably got an idea, and this is what I know is going to happen, and it's going to end up being it'll be your typical. We'll look at who they cast as quote unquote the mighty Thor, Natalie Portman. Brie Larson. They in the lead up to Captain Marvel, they said Brie Larson was, and I'm using air quotes right now, and I'm sorry, Chris, you're gonna have to suffer through this for a minute here. Um, let's see. No, wait, I don't want to do that. Uh, we'll start the hi, air quotes, quote unquote. Brie Larson was buff, which I love when they say that about these women who are just skinny. Um, Brie Larson is not buff. I'm sorry. She's skinny and just kind of, I don't know. She has a weird shaped body. She's just an odd, and I don't want to just critique her on her physique. I really don't because I don't want to body shame. Um, but I just don't. The description. I mean, it's like selling. I used to sell cars, and that's like me describing a, I don't know, 2001 Oldsmobile Laro as like new. I mean, she's just not. She's skinny, but that's about it. So I would like to see an athletic fit to kind of like, I don't know if anybody's familiar with like not necessarily women's bodybuilding, but like physique and fitness in the bikini categories. I would say like for Jennifer Walters, because they're going to CGI her as when she goes into Hulk mode, but I would probably say somewhere along the lines of like a physique competitor, which is like, I don't know, physique or like fitness. You want her to be fit and have a good appearance, but obviously we want somebody that can act as well. I was actually thinking about like Brooke. I don't know how to say her last name. She's a CrossFitter. She played an extra in Wonder Woman. Uh, Beautiful woman. Completely jacked, but she's absolutely gorgeous. But see somebody like along those lines, or like you've got professional female wrestlers, WWE types that actually would probably be better actors than wrestlers. But no, I just give us somebody that will look something like it. Now, I know you're going to say, well, Mark Ruffalo is not. Well, I would prefer that Mark Ruffalo not be a limp sack of soy, which he kind of is, but that's Mark Ruffalo. And I'm not a big Mark Ruffalo fan. I don't even really like him as Hulk. I'm still an Ed Norton Hulk fan. I think what was the guy that played Hulk in the other Hulk movie that nobody remembers exists? Eric Bana, was that his name? Brooke Ensign. Yep, Chris Wicks. You know what I'm talking about. That would be a good She-Hulk. I would be all right with that. There's a couple others I have. I've just kind of thought about from like the world of CrossFit, um, and like fitness that would definitely be a great She-Hulk. Now, if you made a She-Hulk show in the 80s or early 90s, Corey Everson, Corey Everson all day. That woman she was amazing. Had that mainstream appeal. She was she had muscle, but she was feminine. Absolutely beautiful woman. I love Corey Everson. Um, yeah, but no, that's just what I would cast as as She Hulk. I mean, I don't now are they going to make her green all the time? Obviously, but like I said, I don't know how they're going to do this. If they're going to do the full, I don't know, but it's Disney, so we'll see. Let's get back to the article here. Created by Stan Lee and John Buscema. Buscema, please forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. In 1980, that was a good year. Walter She-Hulk first appeared in Savage She-Hulk #1. It's also unclear if Ruffalo will be reprising his role as the gamma-infused Banner in the show, though Feige himself has previously mentioned the shows would be very intertwined with the films to hit theaters. So this is kind of it's a problem for some folks who aren't going to get the MCU shows, the Disney Plus series. If this establishes continuity for the films, again, you're kind of just saying to half your audience, you're holding them hostage, is what you're doing for content. So I don't know. But if you just get Disney Plus, it's like $7.99 a month, which, and like I said, this all goes back to how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to see these shows? Do you think they're worth it? Even if I hate to say it, but I probably would get it. And I don't, and this just for the shows, honestly. And even if half of them are garbage, there's so much content that I kind of think it would be worth it. But I don't know. Like it's such a toss up because this is, I have to watch this stuff for what I do here as a YouTuber and, for my podcast. But at the same time, it's like it kind of, their politics, their identity politics alienate me, but it's like I can't. You guys know what I'm saying. It's a difficult place to be put in. So let's see. Disney Plus is, yes, Feige said on a podcast appearance last year, which is another exciting avenue and exciting thing about being in this place. This time goes back to the amount of characters we will have and the amount of stories we could tell. She-Hulk is yet to receive a release timetable. Who do you think should play Walters in the MCU? Share your thoughts, yada, yada, yada. That's from comicbook.com. Like I said, Brooke would be an amazing choice for this role. I laughed and I said Charlotte Flair, or her shoot name Ashley Flair, um, would be like physically. I think she would be more along the lines of female Thor, Lady Thor, than Natalie Portman would. At least in Thor form, because I know in the comics that Jason Aaron's run, Jane Foster is suffering from cancer and she is, going through chemo and radiation. So the transformations to Thor are slowly killing her. So I don't know. And I'm sick of being insulted on the Marvel. It's a Marvel Cinematic Universe page. Yet if you disagree with the way they're going with the movie, you're called an idiot and you're told you must not know the comic history then. But it's like, this is a Marvel Cinematic Universe group. So, but I mean, I understand. And this is the thing, even if I don't read the comics and I don't pretend I'm an expert on them. I've never once, the only comic that I know, as well as I do its television companion would be the Walking Dead series, because I've read the entire series of comics twice. So I am pretty well versed in that. I have one of the compendiums. I'm in the I'm going to buy them all, even though I was angered at how to end it. But no, so Marvel is kind of, they've got us over a barrel here. If you want the content, you absolutely have to get this Disney Plus series. So I don't know. It's tough to say that I don't want to watch it, and then and try to do my entertainment news and things like that on it. So the one thing that I'm very, very, very unhappy with, to do my little Brie Larson impression there, is the Miss Marvel show. Now, oh, I and like I said, I've talked to now Monica, my co-host on the podcast. Those of you are subscribers, you probably listened to it maybe once or twice. Monica knows the comics. She's my go-to on the show for comic stuff. And if she doesn't know it, we can always look it up. Or I have a lot of friends that are well versed in comics. My guests, some of them, Lincoln X7, Alex is pretty much seems like an encyclopedia when it comes to that stuff. So these are my human resources. Outside of just searching things myself to find out the backstories and the reasons why that they do the things they do in the MCU, or they might take a direction they did. This Miss Marvel direction and I understand part of it. I do. And even though I don't like it, I can understand that, there needs to be a balance of things. And I don't want to say, oh, the representation thing, but it's nice to have different groups. It is. And diversity is a great thing. This is where it stops, though, is when it's forced. That becomes the issue. That becomes the problem, is when you're forcing the issue and not just letting it happen organically to have your story kind of develop, let it unfold for your audience. And this is where we're at with it. It's checking boxes is how we get to where we are with storytelling in, movies like Captain Marvel and the new Star Wars movies. It's bad. It's not good storytelling at all. So yeah. What Chris, are you still in the chat out there? Is there any questions or anything that you want me to rant about? Just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to, man. Because if not, I'm thinking that this is probably a pretty good place to bounce out. So if anybody else is in the chat right now, just go ahead and let me know. Yeah. We've got another. Oh yeah. So while I'm doing this, I can take some time to plug the social media. We have tomorrow night on right here, YouTube live, the place to be reviews. Episode number 56 of the podcast will be featuring myself, Miss Monica, my brother from another mother, the Groovinator from Raiders of the Lost Flicks, and Black Angus Reviews will be in the place to be reviews for the first time, and I could not be more excited to talk about some Star Wars with him and Groovinator, of course. Now, Monica has only seen one Star Wars movie. She watched A New Hope. She enjoyed it. She wants to watch it again, and we're trying to get her to watch the original and prequel trilogy. But I understand she has a very full plate, so we're not really pushing the issue too much. But yeah, so we've got that episode tomorrow night. Friday night, I'll be on the Fancast live. That's right, live on the Fancast with Groovinator, Channel Dad, Brian Lape, Tap and Die, probably Liquid Metal Pro. I'm not sure if Monica's going to have time to join us this week. Saturday night, we're doing an Alita Battle Angel watch party over on the Raiders of the Lost Flicks channel. So if you haven't subscribed to the Groovinator or Raiders of the Lost Flicks, I suggest you do so. And if you're watching this, you better be subscribed to me. Chris, I know you are. Star Wars Disney Hotel. Did something happen at the Star Wars Disney Hotel? Let me look this up here. Now I know that they're adding on to Galaxy's Edge, and they are adding a couple a couple rides by next year or something like that. It's I don't think that'll. I don't know. It might help their attendance a little bit, but I don't see Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, land arriving, Walt Disney World, Star Wars Hotel. Is this? I don't know. Is this something new? I don't really. Oh wow. Okay. All right. Here we go. I see what you're saying. Okay. Let's see. Here is an article from. Oh God. All right. It's on CNN.com, but we'll just use the article. All right, Chris. You got your wish, man. I'm going to talk about this. Let's see here. Let's do a little read through here. All right, little read through there, bud. Yeah. You have a sip of coffee here. Star Wars, bit dodgy. Yeah. That's an Australian word though. Dodgy. I don't know. Did the Kiwis use that, Chris? Do they use that too? I don't know. It's the slang. I don't know. Is the slang the same there? Because I'm sure it's probably like here. It's like obviously it's a different country, but it's I mean it's very like obviously it's regional here. Like it's funny. I say instead of pop I say soda, and people look at me like I'm crazy because I'm not from the South, and I say soda. So I don't know. Uh, let's see. All right. Yes. So they do both say it. Okay. All right. So similar Aussies and Kiwis. Okay. All right. So all right. So okay, I can use that one then. See, I'm learning. You're one of my Australian thesauruses. You're my concierge to the land down under. All right. Actually, my old personal trainer, she was originally from Australia. Um, and she was actually it was funny because she was like 5 foot tall, and I was terrified of her because she could probably like just pick me up and throw me. She had a mouth like a sailor. It was funny. Always Seth is back. The Appalachian American is back. All right. She yeah always used the word cunt like it was I don't know like I use the word motherfucker. It was funny. But anyway, so visitors to Disney's Star Wars thing. Wait, hang on, let me go back and check the live chat here because the chat I look at is a little bit delayed. Okay. All right. We're good. We're good. Okay. This is from yesterday. This is by Jason Farkas. Visitors to Disney's Star Wars themed land in Orlando can stay immersed in a galaxy far, far away by spending 2 nights in a themed hotel that will be called Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. Is this? This ship does not look familiar. I don't know. I'll have to look this up now. Details about the project were part of a 2-hour presentation on Disney parks and experiences at the company's D23 Expo, which included updates on a Spider-Man ride. Oh, I bet you they're really regretting that fucking Spider-Man ride now. A Moana attraction and an overhaul of the Epcot theme park. I don't think they've updated like the whole. I've never been there, so I don't know. But I don't think they've updated that in a long time. In the Star Wars hotel concept, guests will board the Halcyon, a legendary ship with an unparalleled level of service, according to Ann Morrow Johnson, creative director at Walt Disney Imagineering. What do you guys in the chat? Let's see, Halcyon. I don't think I've ever heard of that. I don't, unless they used it in the EU or something. I don't know. A legendary ship, but of course they probably it's probably never been used in a movie, and they're just calling it legendary just because it's Disney. Like Rey is a legend or some shit, or Kylo Ren is a feared legend across the galaxy. I don't know. I need some coffee. All right. Resembling the experience of taking a cruise, all guests will arrive and return at the same location, checking in at a terminal at Walt Disney World, and then take a simulated launch pod into space to board the Star Cruiser. Once there, visitors can interact with an alien crew, learn about the ship's navigation and defense systems, and train with a lightsaber. They'll also enjoy a port day at Batuu. Oh, God. The fictional planet of Disney's Galaxy's Edge Land, opening at Disney Hollywood Studios in Orlando this week. Disneyland's Star Wars Land is already open. Disney has emphasized the interactivity of the new Star Wars Land And the hotel extends that idea. The choices made on the Halcyon affect how your Star Wars story unfolds, Johnson said. Many details about the hotel have yet to be announced. Disney did not reveal when it would open, how many rooms it would have, or its galactic prices. Oh yeah, I'm sure uh Halcyon is a planet from Star Wars. Okay, yeah, I don't remember it. I mean, I, I could be just overlooking it, but um let's see. Oris Galactic Prices. The company did note that every room will have a stellar view, a digital screen that looks out into the cosmos. This cruiser looked like a stretched out, streamlined version of the Blockade Runner. Yeah, are you talking about the Hammerhead Corvettes, Chris, that they used? I don't. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Is like one of those Hammerhead Corvettes um, that they used in like Rogue One to take down the Shield when they shut down um, the one Star Destroyer. So I don't know. Beyond Star Wars, Disney outlined major developments to Epcot, which opened in 1982 as a futuristic World's Fair. Yeah, it was top notch back then. I remember my cousins always got to go. They because they were the side of the family with the money. That's why. To revitalize the aging park, Disney revealed a slew of plans: a Moana attraction called Journey of Water, a Mary Poppins attraction in the United Kingdom Pavilion, an overhaul of the 37-year-old Spaceship Earth ride housed inside the park's iconic geodesic centerpiece. Not the Hammerhead. Oh, okay. I always thought that that big the geodesic centerpiece was cool. It's just cool looking. It's just iconic. Epcot will also debut two new nighttime fireworks shows, Epcot Forever and Harmony US, the latter described as the latest nighttime spectacular, the largest nighttime spectacular ever created for a Disney park. The park is also being reorganized into four neighborhoods: World Discover, World Nature, World Celebration, and the existing World Showcase. Epcot, which some fans think has lost its direction in recent years, is undergoing the biggest transformation of any park we've ever accomplished, according to Bob Chapek, Disney's chairman of parks, experiences, and products. The new Epcot will be more Disney, more family, more timely, and more relevant, he said. Marvel is going to play a bigger part in the Disney theme parks, connected by a single story arc across several international properties. Previously announced Marvel Land is previously announced Marvel Lands in Disney's California Adventure Park and Disneyland Paris will be called Avengers Campus and become part of an interconnected global story that involves a third Marvel location at Hong Kong Disneyland. But don't expect an Avengers Campus to open a location at the flagship Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. A 1994 agreement gave Universal Studios exclusive rights to operate a Marvel themed land east of the Mississippi River. Oh, I bet that burns Disney. I bet it does. In another awkward intellectual property dispute, Disney revealed a Spider Man ride coming to Avengers Campus, despite the recent news that Disney's talks with Sony to renew film rights to Spider Man fell through. In the ride, guests sling webs to help Spider Man collect spider bots that have run amok. Oh, Lord. Hashtag, oh, my Lord. The modernizing of Disney parks didn't stop at new rides and lands. The company unveiled a new digital product called Disney Genie that recommends custom itineraries for princesses, thrill seekers, and foodies. Oh, sweet fancy Moses. Making dining reservations and securing fast passes. Other announcements, including a Cirque du Soleil show based on the art of Disney animation coming to Walt Disney World, a new port for Disney Cruise Line on the Bahamian island of Eleuthera, Urethra, I don't know. The Bahamian island of fucking Urethra, and the name of Disney's fifth cruise ship, the Wish. Okay. Um, Jesus, this is going to be overpriced as all get out. Like this is going to be expensive. Um, I don't. Okay, check your. Oh, all right, Chris, you messaged me pictures. All right, thank you, dude. You're amazing, Chris Wicks, Appalachian American, Admiral Tiberius. I have some. I really do for the audience. I think I have 84 subscribers now, and I'd like to welcome one of my new subscribers. It's he's got a bigger channel than mine, and that always blows my mind when I have folks subscribe to me that have these channels with, you know, 4 or 5, 600, over 1,000 subscribers, and I have a few of them that are subscribed to me, and you know, it's not, and I'm not bragging. I'm grateful is all get out that I've been able to kind of take this idea of a hobby that I started this February. I was like, I was like I said, you guys know the story. I was a pro wrestler for 9 years. You know, I was a DJ, and I was out of both of those games. I was done. It was over, and I wanted something else to do. And I'm like, I didn't really have. I mean, outside of obviously being a parent and a husband, I'm bragging. Loudy, Coach Loudy's in the building. God damn it, Rowdy Loudy. We've got all right. We got a party here. Jesus, I was going to try to end this in an hour, but apparently that is not going to happen yet. So no, I we talked Venom last night, but we'll get to that in a minute because I really want to talk about that some more. Um, but no, so this podcast thing, this started back in February. I was doing inconsistent episodes and just basically getting on there and ranting, and people were kind of receptive to it, I guess. So I was like, what the hell? I had a YouTube channel back in the day. I'm like, I'm going to start another one. Couple, you know, cell phone videos here and there, and finally got the computer around the time that I went to Comic Con in Houghton Lake here, the small Comic Con we did, and it was it was fun. I just it's kind of taken off, man, and I'm having a good time with it. I have an amazing set, a bunch of subscribers, and I've made a lot of friends through. You know, it started being this all started with me finding a world class bullshitters video back in April or May of 2018. I found a world class bullshitters video about how bad the Last Jedi was, and from there I found Geeks and Gamers and Comic Artists Pro Secrets, and I've made a veritable cornucopia of friends, people I've never met, but I've spoken to, and I call friends now because I do consider a lot of you guys friends. We talk all the time, and this is one of the only pratfall of being a YouTuber is that you kind of become a little bit insulated at times, like me, because I'm, you know, I stay at home, so I have to like work to keep my connection to the outside world sometimes, but it's a balancing act and it's fun. So let's before we wrap this up, let's talk a little bit about Venom. Loudy watched Venom for the first time last night. I watched it for like the sixth or seventh time this weekend, and that's a movie that does not get old. Just doesn't. I think Tom Hardy's finally found his niche role, and he is excellent as Venom. You know, Venom was a success worldwide, made 860 million dollars. So, you know, moving into the Venom verse now with Spider-Man, Loudy, it was great, man. Hallmark moment. Oh, thanks, Chris. Um, but no, it was a great movie, and he was better as Bane. I will fight you on that, Loudy. I will fight you that he was not better as Bane. Um, I now Batman and Flash are my two favorite superheroes. It's been tough to maintain being a Flash fan because I'm, like I said, I don't read the comics, but the animated Flash stuff and the live action show, I dig that. I don't dig the message of the Flash show, but it's those are my characters. So it's kind of hard for me to go against somebody that's like a Batman, you know, in that realm. But I like him better as Venom. Now, what I am excited for is Cletus Cassidy, Woody Harrelson, Carnage. The possibility of a rated R Venom movie is that's exciting. That is exciting because this is, like I said, I've looked into this arc in the comics and that Maximum Carnage storyline. They're going to have to make that rated R because, I mean, he just kills people just to kill people, just for the hell of it. So I really, really think that Woody Harrelson is going to do the role justice because he plays an amazing villain. And if you're watching this now, let me know in the chat if you've seen Natural Born Killers. I see there we got 4 people in the chat. All right, so I at least better have 4 likes on here. Um, so bitch, slap that like button. But no, man, Woody was great in Natural Born Killers alongside Juliette Lewis. Now I'm now a Shazam fan. That's another one I watched this weekend. Shazam was fucking fun. That was a fun movie to watch. Zachary Levi was absolutely wonderful in that. The kid that played Billy Batson was really good. It was it had it had the superhero vibe to it. It was comicky. It was gimmicky. Comicky. It was gimmicky, but I loved it. There was not one point of that movie where I was like rolling my eyes or I was bored. Oh, Levi is Chuck. I watched the first season of Chuck, and kind of fell off after that. But that show had such a good cast, especially his the I can't remember the female lead of the show, but yeah, I really liked her. Yeah, that show was fun. The first season, and the guy that played his friend, the little Weasley guy, he almost reminds me. I don't know. It was like, what was it, Charlie Day or something from I know it's not him, but it just kind of reminds me of that same vein from It's Always Sunny, which is another show that I don't watch anymore. And people are looking at me like I'm insane for not watching. It's always sunny. I watched like the first couple seasons and just kind of was like, man, boy, they really they canceled what's her name on there, the actress who plays D. It's Caitlin something. They canceled her show. Fox, like with the quickness, that didn't last too long. Looks like Charlie Day. He does look like Charlie Day. Morgan. Yep. The final episode. I don't know how many seasons there were of that, or if that's on Hulu or whatever, because I don't think it's on Netflix. Morgan Olson. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up because I'd like to go back and watch that one. I have a lot of stuff I have to watch though. I'm gonna watch that Wu Assassin show on uh, Netflix. That looks really good. I've heard good things about that. So, but yeah, so we got, I think I was talking about Venom and Carnage and shit. But I'm interested to see how they're going to work in Caitlin Olsen. Yep, it's Caitlin Olsen that plays D. Yep. 5 seasons of Chuck and 4 should have been the end. 5 sucked, but the finale was amazing. So what you're saying is the Appalachian American, that Chuck ended much like Scrubs did, where they should have ended it in, was it seasons? God, I can't remember how many seasons of Scrubs they did, but the final season of Scrubs was. And Loudy and I were just talking about this the other day. The final season of Scrubs was fucking terrible. It was terrible. Um, the cast didn't seem interested. It was boring. 9 seasons should have ended 8. Yes. That show got all preachy and nostalgic, and it just wasn't fun anymore at all. It got, yeah, never liked Scrubs. I liked it. I did. I used to watch that religiously. It's not when I go back now and I watch again. Like if it's on TV and I'm just want something on as noise and there's literally nothing else on, I'll watch it. But I don't go out of my way to watch it anymore. It's kind of like Rick and Morty. Like I watched the first 2 seasons of Rick and Morty over and over again because there was no season 3, and I can't even you sit through an episode now. I don't even. It's just one of those. It's one of those shows where I'm just like, like Seinfeld. I can watch Seinfeld any time of the day or night, any episode, and damn near quote the entire thing. I mean, I've written psychology papers about Seinfeld, so that's my show right there. I never watched the finale episode though. I've seen the finale episode since it premiered in, was it 98? I have seen the finale episode of Seinfeld, I think 3 or 4 times. That's it. I don't like it because I don't see, if you never watch the finale, the show never ended. I just rotate back to the pilot episode, and start watching it again. So, but with that being said, I think I'm going to end this here as I have a lot to do today, and I have a big show to get ready for tomorrow, a couple videos to do today. So I would like to thank the Appalachian American, Chris Wicks, Loudy, Tap and Die. Let me roll back through the whole chat here. I think that's everybody who joined us this morning. Thank you guys so much for making the premiere episode of About Last Night run, I would say, relatively smoothly. I only got kicked off my own stream once. So with that being said, I'm Etepo Queen. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. right here, the place to be reviews on YouTube for episode 56 with myself, Raiders of the Lost Flicks, my co-host Monica, and Black Angus Reviews right here. We'll be talking some more Star Wars and a whole lot more. So if I don't see you, remember, have a good day and a pleasant tomorrow. So we're out. That's it.